Welcome back, 217 Podcast, Week 2, Episode 2, Super Bowl edition. I'm just going to hop on here, talk about the Super Bowl, talk about Illinois, um, recap the Bears-Packers seasons, get in our picks for the Super Bowls, talk about the UFC card last night, talk some future stuff. But, yeah, we've got four great dudes on here today. Three dudes, I should say, because, good friends, some family members, built-in best friend, but guys I've known forever. Some guys are newer. Larry, I met in high school. Brado's been a lifelong, ride or die brother, and Griff obviously was my built-in best friend, being 6 months apart. But yeah, Brado, I'll let you have the floor. You can tell everybody, who you root for, what you're all about, something fun about that, and go from there.
Yeah, I cheer for the Atlanta, obviously, big Green Bay Packers fan. I also support the Oregon Ducks. Uh, all I do is watch sports, man. So talking about this, it's something easy for me.
Yeah. Larry, go ahead.
Right there with them. Go Green Bay, always. Big Illini basketball fan. Cubs baseball fan. Griffin, quit smirking like that. Can't wait to get on it with you. That's about it. Yeah.
And then go ahead, Griff.
I cheer for the Chicago Bears, baby. Bear down. Let me tell you. Illini fan and just Chicago sports fan in general.
Yeah, unfortunately, these guys are Cubs fans. That just stinks. It's a constant battle throughout the year. The only really team that I guess we all agree on is Illinois men's basketball. And that'll be what we start with today. As it sits right now, just coming off a big win against Minnesota yesterday. Played good, but Minnesota's really bad. But mainly we're going to talk about the Rutgers loss. I mean, that was one of the most frustrating games. I mean, Rutgers was an 11-11 team, but at the same time, they've got two of the best freshmen in the absolute, country, nation, probably of all time, two top guys, and Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. I want to know your guys' thoughts on the game before we kind of deep dive into this. Just bad all around. I mean, I don't think that there was a time where I was like, this is, a game that we controlled. And I just like to put it out there that if we ever have Jeffrey Anderson as our head official, we will riot because that dude is a dumbass. I'm tired of the high knees. Kick this dude out of college basketball. I'm sick and tired of it. But, yeah, anybody can start. Don't matter who, but just kind of go one by one. Dish out your thoughts.
Yeah, those freshmen, they're as good as advertised. Coming into the season, we knew how those two were going to be. It doesn't help that in our last 6 games, we're shooting well under 25% from three, shooting 31. I think three attempts a game, which is just ridiculous when we're not even a good 3-point shooting team. KJ, we needed him to step up in that big time game. He kind of was in the shadows for the most part of that game. Him averaging about 3.5 turnovers doesn't help us. We need him to start playing like the lottery pick again. But that Minnesota game was a better version of KJ over the past couple of games for sure.
Yeah, I'll go off of Brado. That I don't think it's as much as the duo playing well as much as it's our team where we're at right now. Really rough.
Yeah, I think we got everybody back and healthy, and it showed in the Minnesota game. But we were playing Rutgers in the game before that. KJ manages our team, and when he's playing like that, it's just we're not going to win games. Those last 2 games, he was averaging seven turnovers apiece in both games. So I mean, we're not going to win basketball games when our best player is doing that. So
Yeah, I mean, the thing is this team is going to go as far as KJ and crew take us. But I mean, it's the same thing. Like, for instance, Io's freshman year, if he went, we went. But if he didn't, it was going to be a blowout. Illinois was going to lose by 10. These top teams, I mean, you just can't compete with the Purdue's, the Michigan States. I mean, even this year, like the California teams are good when at home. They've kind of been good on the road too as of late. UCLA's kind of turned it around. But it looks like Maryland's going to be tough. I mean, they're up as we speak. They're up 11 on Rutgers right now. At home, though, I mean, really, with Illinois being 8-6, Maryland's probably going to win today. There's not going to be a real big shakeup in the Big Ten. You're going to probably still be sitting at that 7 slot in the Big Ten tournament, which is approaching very quickly. And we've got a hell of an 8-game stretch. I mean, this is going to be one of the biggest make or break stretches for Illinois men's basketball that I've seen in the last couple of years, where, we're not necessarily in the driver's seat anymore. We kind of don't control our own destiny. We kind of got to get these games. I mean, big win at Minnesota. Will Riley has stepped up tremendously for this team. He looked like he forgot how to play basketball for a while, but 24, 18, and 27 in his last 3, just doing what the highest ranked recruit in Illinois history should do. But we're going to turn it over to the UCLA game. What do you guys think as far as that's going to go? That's a 7:00 start at home. And of course it's on Peacock, because why wouldn't it be?
Yeah. Why would they let us watch that?
I think you said the game's at home against UCLA. I think
we've got 2 home games in a row.
I think we'll handle that game easily. With the offense we were running last game, we went away from the ISO ball a little bit and just high ball screen. Actually got down to our 2 bigs. And when you can put Ivisic on the right block, get to his left hand, you can put Merez on the other side, and he can get back to his right. It's working a lot. We got 2 good rebounders, and Ivisic is a good passer. So when he turns and faces, and we got cutters, the offense looked great last night. And
rebounding team in the nation.
Yeah, when we're not chucking threes, like when we're getting to the lane or moving the ball and then hitting the threes like we were last night, we can be a dangerous team.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Sky Clark, obviously, them coming home will be a fun thing. Just how the Illini faithful kind of respond to him coming back to Illinois again. Their big guy, Bill Dow, he's a real good player. They got some good ball players there. So it's not going to be an easy win for sure. But I think we keep limiting these these 3-point attempts, man. I think it'll be in everything. And then Will Riley being, a bright spot in the skid that we've had. I mean, he's averaging 23 points in his last 3 games. So see him stepping up the way he is a good thing for us for sure.
I am looking at these last 3 games, and in true Illinois fashion, we have not shot above 70% from the free throw line. Absolutely insane as an entire team.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's kind of what I expect from Illinois. I mean, we had the years of Dane and Kofi, and gosh, Griffin, you're having a hell of a time over there.
I got my phone on the charger, so every time I get
out. I mean, this is like the first team where it's like the big man. Ivisic is such a big guy with like free throws, I would say, because he actually is a competent shooter, and like unlike our bigs that we've had previous years, we should shoot above 75% from the free throw line. But I tell you what, the guys that struggle the most from the free throw line are Will Riley and KJ. It's like, how in the world? I'll never understand that. Like, if you're a good natural shooter, how are you not a good free throw shooter? It'd be like if Steph Curry wasn't a good free throw shooter. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Completely agree.
I'm looking at UCLA, their last couple games. They played Penn State at Penn State and just completely – they played at UCLA and just completely destroyed them, 78-54. It makes me giggle because their best player the last couple of games has been Kobe Johnson. And, if you know, that's just hilarious. They beat Michigan State a couple nights ago on probably one of the craziest shots I've ever seen. And then, but the thing is, Illinois got to get back on track. Not an easy game versus UCLA. And then we play versus Michigan State. And then, we decided we were going to schedule Duke.
Yeah.
That's in a
fun.
couple weeks.
Madison
We're gonna
Square
play
Garden,
at
baby.
Wisconsin, and then at Madison Square Garden versus Duke, and then we finished the year with Iowa, at Michigan, and then at home against Purdue. What do you guys think about the rest of the season?
I think bottom line, rest of the season you can't lose at home. You can't drop any games at home the rest of the season. I mean, I don't think as an Illinois fan, I don't think we have a shot against Duke. If we keep it close, I'd be surprised. But Duke's, to me, is the best team in basketball. I know they lost last night to Clemson, but they're the best team in basketball. And
So did Auburn, though.
yeah.
True. Auburn did not look very good.
Yeah.
Florida also is either going to get 20 balled or is going to 20 ball you. So
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Florida is such a hit or miss team.
They have good guards, really good guards.
I don't think I played that game.
We've got a comment.
I
I don't know why
I
in
was
the
just
world.
Can't even see I can.
We're gonna disregard Tanner's comment.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
But and disregard Dukas's. You spelled banana wrong again. Bryson said LeBron versus Jordan.
I
Who's
like
the GOAT?
Bryson.
We're
Yeah.
not gonna even talk about this. This is not the day. But yeah.
Brandon.
Go
Shout out,
go
hey,
Mike.
shout out Tommy and the boys at the bars last night, popping out.
Yeah. That's what they need to be working on. Hopefully, there are probably some dogs at beer pong, but hopefully they can put the ball in the rim next
No
game.
shit.
Getting back on track with Illinois, we're currently the 7th seed. If the Big Ten tournament started tomorrow, we would be playing the winner of USC and Northwestern at it's at Indianapolis, a place that we really, besides the year that we won it, haven't played tremendously at over the last couple of years. I know me and Griffin went and watched that team get beat the shit out of by Indiana that year, where we were what, number 3 seed, Griff, 2 seed, and just got embarrassed. And then Northwestern, they just lost Brooks Barnheiser. Oh well. Go learn LinkedIn. They still got Martinelli. We kind of shut him down the last time. I personally wouldn't be a fan of that. That would lead us into the 2 seed, which is probably going to be Michigan State.
I think
I'm not really scared of Michigan State at all.
No,
I don't think. It is March. It is January, February, Izzo. But he can cry all he wants. If he don't get the referees that he needs to win the game, it's gonna be an easy one.
Purdue's really the only team in the Big Ten that I would be worried about playing. Genuinely
tough. They run their sets right. They have good coaching. That's obvious. And they have good coaching, and they're gonna play their style of basketball.
Like I said, like Brado said with the Rutgers, like that duo is good as advertised, but it has nothing to do with how we play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going to see that 2 seed or 3 seed, if you're staying away from Purdue, I don't hate it. It's kind of like last year where, we were on the opposite side, and, it's hard to win. Like, the thing about it is if that 8 and 5 seed or 8 and 9, whatever, if they get hot, like Wisconsin last year, they got hot and just, took Purdue out of Purdue didn't even have a chance last year in that game. They made it close to the end, but Wisconsin just out-rebounded them the entire game. They didn't let Edey get going. That's the whole thing is I want to stay on the opposite side of Purdue, and if we have to go through – if we get Maryland again, I'm not worried about Maryland. That's the whole thing. Like, those dudes don't really scare me that much because,
we caught Maryland at a bad time. We were sick.
Yeah.
And Maryland plays to their big men, and we were missing usage then. Merez is still – it's his first game in the starting lineup. He's learning how to play without fouling. And in that game, he got in foul trouble. We had to go to Kerry Booth, who – I like Kerry Booth. I hope he stays, but I don't think he's he's ready enough to play in the Big Ten this year.
Yeah, that dude looks like a deer out there. He just doesn't. I mean, he just kind of runs around and like prances around. And I mean, I was all for Kerry Booth when we got him out of the portal. I was like, hey, this dude looks pretty solid. Freshman coming in playing for Notre Dame right away, who at the time wasn't awful. They're terrible this year. But an outlook of the Big Ten tournament, it could shake up a little bit, but it's probably not going to be that much craziness happen, I'd say. I mean, a lot of guys are playing a lot of home games, and it's kind of shaking out the way it's supposed to. You're going to have the 2 and 3 seed on the side, which would be Michigan State and Michigan. I would rather have Michigan bump to that 4 line if at all possible, because I think that team can really give Purdue problems. I think Michigan's really tough, but I mean, the whole thing is with the tournament, it's all about who gets hot. I mean, I've seen so many years where it's like, we get hot and at the wrong time and just completely blow it up in the tournament and don't play well. And I mean, we're not going to talk about the year that we won it, because we all know what happened after that. Sad day. Not going to talk about it. Thanks, the committee. Clearly, you don't look at Ken Palm.
If we do end up drawing Purdue again, I'm excited to see how Highland versus Great Smith goes, because you're going against a guy who doesn't turn the ball over, and he's going against one of our best defenders, if not one of the best defenders in the Big Ten, guard-wise.
And that game, if we were to play them in the Big Ten championship, would be 9 days after the first Purdue game.
Yeah, so a lot of things.
You guys like the new Big Ten tournament, like how they're doing it with 4 teams out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't. I mean, it should be. I mean, who are the 4 teams out right now? Let's see: Penn State, Washington, Minnesota, and Northwestern/Iowa. I think Northwestern has the head-to-head there. But yeah, don't. I mean, if they're the bottom 4, keep them out.
Mm-hmm.
Illinois does have quad 1 games remaining, so it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
I mean, that Duke loss, I mean, we might as well call a spade a spade. That Duke loss is going to be a quad 1 loss. Keep it close. Make the committee say, oh, they kept it close.
I was about to say.
Especially at a neutral site, it'll be different.
Because what? I mean, I would assume UCLA is probably they quad 1.
Do we have this?
I'm looking at UCLA right now, and they have not. They've beat Iowa. They have not lost a game since January 17th.
Yeah,
they beat Wisconsin. Yeah.
Do we have the scoop on Trey White? What's going on with him?
Illness, apparently.
Been hurt. Flu-like symptoms, but he's still on the bench, so I'm not entirely sure if that's completely true or not. But he had the flu's been going around the team a little bit.
Yeah.
Trey, and then obviously Mono with Tommy. So
stay out of the bars. Stay out of the red line. Leave that to Griffin Trees. Stay out of there. You guys, I know that it's intimidating when you see Griffin at the bar. Big 6'5", blonde-headed kid, probably runs a 4.3. But like, you guys, they need to stay out of there and let Griff work his magic over there. Just
probably runs a 4.3.
But yeah, I think every game we've got remaining besides the Iowa games probably quad 1-ish. I mean, oh my gosh, Michigan and Wisconsin, Duke, Michigan, and Purdue are all quad 1s for sure.
Yeah. Wisconsin's playing really good basketball right now. They're dangerous.
Yes, they are.
Wisconsin's terrible. It don't matter. Greg Gard couldn't coach Pee Wee basketball if it meant to win a big game. I mean, he can beat everybody else, but every time we play them, I feel like we just absolutely exploit them.
If we can, we'll be in every game. If we rebound like we do, we will be in every game, and we don't take dumb threes.
Yes.
Threes
are stepping back.
Yeah, the threes are keeping us out of these some of these games, and we're shooting ourselves out of games.
I mean, with how much we shoot threes, you'd think we're ranked, I don't know, like top 50 in the nation, but we're ranked 296 in the nation.
Last in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
we're last in the Big, and we're actually on pace we're on pace right now, averaging 33s a game, which is the most by any Big Ten team in history.
Yeah, probably most misses too. So.
It's crazy. I did see on Twitter, I wanted to bring this up with you guys. I think I shared it with you guys too. The before and after transfers for Illinois since 2017, their 3-point percentage before they came to Illinois and after. Most notably, the worst, Kylan Boswell shot 38.2% at Arizona, comes to Illinois and is now shooting a measly 23.4%. That is a 15% decrease, essentially. Know your role is what I would say for Kylan. I mean, I think he's an attacking the basket guard. I think if he's got an open shot, he should shoot it. But some of the shots he shoots in transition, I'm kind of lenient towards. I'd rather see, him attack the basket. I think that's where he makes a lot of his money. But I mean, we've had three people transfer in and shoot better at Illinois, and that was Quincy Guerrier, who upped his by 5%, ended up shooting 37% at Illinois. Jacob Grandinson shot 41% that one year. I mean, he was pretty sniper. And then Plummer went up by 0.9
Missed that guy.
But like or Terrence, went down by 0.7. Damask, actually, I didn't know this, but went down by 5.8.
I wouldn't have guessed that either.
I
Griffin's
think
lookalike Jake Davis is down 8.8%. I mean, I feel like that dude just finds the basket, though. He kind of cleans some ugly things up. So
I think a lot of the problem too is Brad's not an X's and O's coach. He's not going to draw up plays. He's not going to draw up. He's more of a 5-out. You guys find your own shot, basically. So the 3-point percentages are going to be down with like dominant ball handlers, is what I'm saying. Now with like spot up shooters, then I don't really know what to tell you there. But with the ball handlers, their 3 points definitely going to be down because Brad relies so much on like KJ or Terrence or Io to initiate the offense. So I mean, that's just gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, he draws up all the plays. I mean, I can't remember the last time I've seen a clipboard in Brad's hand. So he's letting Tyler run with it and see what he can do with it. But like he said, he's a 5-and-out guy for sure. That's
Bryson, the questions are going to be dealt with at the end. He's freaking out.
He said host.
But total percentage between this is 16 transfers since 2017. I mean, I don't really count Mark Allstork. I don't even remember that guy. I'm not gonna lie, Fredo. That might be more of a you.
Right State, baby, Right State.
But total between these transfers is negative 54.9%. I mean, that's a crazy decrease. Average is negative 4.2 by all these guys. So basically, you transfer into Illinois and you are going to drop your 3-point percentage by negative 4.2. I mean,
yep,
that's got to go up. Somebody's got to fix that because if not, you're just not going to get these elite level snipers to come in and be like, oh yeah. I mean, if I saw that as a shooting guard or even a big man, like somebody that shoots a lot. I mean,
If I'm Luke Goody, I'm going to Indiana too. I completely understand.
Luke Goody's trash, but I mean, we ain't gonna talk about that. But yeah, that's gotta be fixed.
He's having a better season than his replacement.
Yeah, that's why I kind of brought it up.
His replacement Ben is not. But the last few games, I like how Ben's getting backing down using his height actually because or he's just spotting up.
Except his booty ball is not.
It's not.
He can't move anybody.
He's listening.
He's got to get. I mean, dude, like I don't know. Maybe it's because I've got a little extra baggage besides me, but I can like move a defender that's bigger than me by just having leverage. I mean, and this dude is just like looks like he's just bouncing off. He looks like that clip of Karl Anthony Towns like trying to back somebody down, and he's like squinting, and it's like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
Just like either shoot it or don't. Figure it out, kick it out, or I understand that worked last year, but
I was gonna say
another Marcus Damask.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think we're gonna see anybody as good as Marcus.
No,
that he wasn't.
That dude came in and absolutely tore up the Big Ten for a while.
I don't know. I think if we keep playing through our bigs and using KJ and Will, I mean, Will's figured out how to score, obviously, at this level. It's pretty obvious the last few games. And Will, I mean, the good thing that about Will coming along is it allows KJ not to have to do everything. And I think where KJ struggles is he just tries to do everything. He's trying to make every flashy play. He's trying to, especially it doesn't help when we're not making shots. I mean, he's getting a little aggravated, I can tell. And then he starts forcing shit, and then his turnovers come along. And I don't know. I think if we can get it down to the post and let the big men kind of like take over our offense for a couple sets. It'll keep working out.
I mean, Tommy, he draws so much attention. I mean, if he just facilitates like, I don't know, a block or two, he can dish it out to whoever and they can be open. But like he said, having Will Riley step up the way he is definitely taking a lot of stress off KJ. It definitely allows him to not have to force up as many shots as he have, turn the ball over as much as he has. So it's
Trey White as well.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone assumed that he was going to do what he did off the bench.
I think Kylan needs to be more aggressive at finding a shot and getting to the basket. I think the game when he came off the bench, I don't know which game that was,
I think it
but
was Nebraska.
Nebraska game when he came off the bench, he got us like 14 or 15 off the bench, and he looked good. I think he needs to keep that up.
Yeah, he
I
had
think
13
going forward, I think
13 and 8.
Personally, I think going forward, I mean, you try the DGL experiment. I just think he's a bench guy. I really do. He gets out rebounded a lot. He's athletic as hell, but sometimes we get, back cut on defense, or he's just not a big guard. And like when you have him out there with KJ and like Kylan, you just are kind of risking defense out there. And it's just like, I think if you're going to have one of the two out there, if it's going to be DGL or if it's Will Riley, I think Will Riley's made a case he's got to start playing more. I mean, that dude, when he gets hot, he is as good as anybody in the Big Ten. But, I mean, take it with a grain of salt. When he gets cold, I mean, we saw 6-game stretch where that dude didn't even hit the rim.
Literally.
Yeah. I think down the stretch, like in a late game, I think you have to have Dre on the floor. I think he's proven he can make the big shot and he's not scared. That's the thing too.
Yeah.
You don't want to have I love Kylan. I like the way he plays, but I feel like he'd be nervous to take that final shot. KJ's not. You gotta have the dudes that if they get the ball, they're not gonna be scared to shoot it. So I think
100%.
down the stretch, you gotta have him and Will in the game. But
yeah, no, DGL's reward. I mean, I think everybody knows that. But his energy off the bench, I think, will impact our team a lot more than if he was starting. So I think Will Riley earned right a little more than he has, but we'll see because Brad is real stubborn, changing sets, changing lineups. I mean, we've seen it happen, I think, 1 or 2 years. That's it. But I think Will Riley's definitely made a case to put him in the 5 for sure.
Completely agree.
Yeah. You guys got any last thoughts on Illinois men's basketball before we shift focus?
Get ready for March.
Yeah, this next stretch coming up is going to be fun. Michigan State, Wisconsin, Duke.
Yeah,
I think
definitely going to be some fun games.
I think we get healthy and we can win a lot of games. We're young though. I think some people forget that too.
Right.
About one returning player. So I mean.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean that's the Illinois segment. I'm going to shift focus to the big topic of today. 2 Bears fans, 2 Packers fans, obviously, you saw by the thumbnail. That took me about 2 hours to do that, so I'm a pretty great editor. But yeah, Bears Packers split 1-1 this year. We got you guys at the end of the season. You guys, beat us by some prayer to Jesus that Cairo Santos missed his first field goal inside of 48 yards all year. But I'm excited for Bears Packers in the future, man. This is going to be I think the Bears are finally sort of turning it around if they make the right moves this offseason. But I mean, Packers are still as good as ever. They've got good QB play. If they go out and get a wide receiver 1, they're going to be dangerous. I mean, I think that 2025, 2026 is going to be a pretty fun year. We're going to play twice again. It looks like it says we're going to play you guys week 3 and then week 17. So I really kind of wish that we played you guys week 1 and then week 17 like we did a couple years ago. That was pretty fun. But yeah, what are your guys' overall feel for this last year going into next year about Bears Packers?
I think it's gonna be exciting. I think if the Bears can, I think the Packers, honestly, they're a Super Bowl contending team every year. Even though I hate on them, they are. They have a winning culture, and they always seem to find a good quarterback. They have really good coaching. I think LaFleur is a good coach, but I mean, LaFleur's coaching end of the season kind of was a little iffy, but I think it's going to be exciting. I think Caleb Williams for the Bears is going to be good, and I think Ben Johnson knows what he's doing. We got to get some offensive line and some. I think another running back. Maybe we'll get into that because I think we need to get one at 10th spot, baby.
No, not Genty. It won't be not Genty though.
Definitely we're gonna talk about that here in a minute. If you see the itinerary for, no, no, no.
No, but I think
yeah. What do you think? What are you predicting for this year, Griff, for Bears Packers? 2 games.
2 games. I think it'll split. I think it'll be they win home, we win home. But honestly, in Bears fashion, it's probably going to be I don't know. I'd probably give if it's someone's going to sweep, it's going to be the Packers. I'll give them the edge on that.
For sure.
I don't think it'll be a sweep. I thought it was going to be last year, and I was proven wrong by both games. You guys could have won either. I think you'll get one, at least one.
Brado, what do you?
I was gonna say I'm not as stubborn as these other 3. Brado, I know you may have a different.
No, I'd be lying if I say I don't think we could sweep next year. But the Bears have gotten better. They got a real good coach, Ben Johnson. He's a real good offensive scheme type coach. I mean, what he did for Detroit this year was amazing. Besides the playoff game, I mean that could be up for debate another day. But I think that the Bears did get better, and what they do, I guess both teams in the free agency draft is going to really determine a lot of things this year. So I'm excited.
Sure.
I agree. This draft is going to be big.
Berto, what is your top target for the Packers for free agency?
I really want to bring Davante Adams back. I know the guy's older, I guess I should say, but with what he's done for the green and yellow for the past 6, 7, 8 years was amazing. It'd be great to have him back. Maybe someone like T. Higgins, he's going to ask for, a lot of money. So if the Packers are willing to give it to him, I'd be okay with that too. And then ultimately, I mean, see what the Cleveland Browns for Myles Garrett and see what they would want for him, and if we can maybe work out something like that. But Davante for sure is at the most, I don't know, more realistic for us to get.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I saw that the Packers were included on Myles Garrett's top targets, but I personally think he's going to go – I keep seeing Atlanta. I keep seeing Dallas, the Texans. I keep seeing those South teams. Dukas, he's not going to the Vikings. Don't even comment that.
I see a lot of things in the Bears, and honestly, we went through the same exact thing with Khalil Mack, and Khalil Mack did what he did for us, but once his tenure was gone, it screwed us because we gave away so many picks for him that it took us so long to get back. After that didn't work, after the whole Trubisky thing didn't work, and I don't know. I'm not a big fan of giving away potentially five players that could be very good in the league for one player for 2-3 years to be good.
Yeah, I just don't know the longevity aspect of Myles Garrett. I mean, the dude's already – I couldn't believe it when I saw it, but the dude's already 29 years old. It feels like Myles Garrett just came in the league like 3 years ago. I mean, it feels like a long time, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like he's been there all that long. I mean, he's been highly productive, but I agree with Griff. Khalil Mack was 27 when we gave up that trade, and I mean the Raiders. Thankfully, the Raiders can't do anything correctly. I mean, they either draft jailbirds or they draft dudes that just end up off the team within 5 years.
Jailbirds, baby.
I mean, like they drafted Josh Jacobs with that, the first round pick, and that was probably their best pick that they had, or it was maybe their second. I don't know, but it's like the Raiders either draft Josh Jacobs or Alex Leatherwood, and I mean, I'm not gonna tweak about that, but I'm interested to see if the Browns do trade Garrett. I would assume that they're probably a lock to take Carter at the 2 slot, wouldn't you?
For sure. Abdul Carter has earned every right to be talking in that type of situation. It's just you got to decide if a 1 or 2 year rental of Myles Garrett is worth 4 or 5, potentially 6, and for 95% of NFL teams. So,
I mean, if we're being honest, if they really do get rid of him, they'd be kind of silly. You just paid Deshaun Watson all that money, and then you already have half your team. You got your all-pro guard coming out and saying if they get rid of Myles Garrett, he's going to think about retirement. You got Denzel Ward saying if he gets traded, then he's going to think about wanting to get traded too. I mean, you got players. You just got to find. I mean, Stefanski literally won Coach of the Year 2 years ago. He has one bad season. I mean, you kind of screwed yourself bringing in Watson, but I think I don't really know what they're going to do. What pick do they have this year?
2.
I was gonna say it's top
I don't know
3.
what they're going to do there. I mean, you have Watson, you have him signed to a bunch of money, but I mean, I don't know if you can do a buyout in the NFL, pay out his contract and cut him, but
I think you can, but I think it's gonna be so much higher. It's like,
I mean, didn't he just tear his ACL again in training? I'm pretty sure.
Deshaun Achilles.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah, he tore his Achilles again, ruptured his Achilles. He's out for the entire 2025, 2026.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I think it'd be smart for them to just bring in a quarterback, but I don't think they're getting rid of Garrett. I think it'd be dumb.
Future episode, we're definitely going to talk draft because that's the overall draft. I mean, we're going to talk about Bears Packers draft picks today, but because this is one of the more interesting drafts, I would say, because there's not a solidified guy that's going 1. Like, I mean, for a while, everybody's like, oh, it's Travis Hunter, but I don't think anybody really sees him going 1. I mean, I could see it, but I could also see 4 other dudes going 1. I mean, Titans, you just don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to plug and play with Will Levis for another year. I mean, you just don't know what they're going to do.
I think you take a quarterback.
Titans are definitely taking a quarterback.
You can't let Mr. Mick run this franchise.
That's what I thought, but I don't know.
I'd be kind of nervous though about these with Shedeur and Cam as your top 2 picks. I mean, I personally I don't see the hype in either of them. I mean, honestly, I think if those 2 quarterbacks came out last year, I don't think they would have been first-round quarterbacks, but that's just me. I think the ones that went last year would have stayed where they were, and these guys would have been second, third-round picks. But
yeah, and I think that, I mean, if you're looking ahead to next year even, I mean, I'm not buying all the hype around Arch yet. I mean, we've seen him a small sample size.
I'm buying.
Okay,
I'm buying the Arch hype.
I agree with Bryce. I don't think he's
put in your stock.
A Manning that can run 22 mile an hour. Come on now.
Yeah, but have we seen Manning throw the ball besides when he was in high school and he looked like he was playing against the Oakwood JV?
Hey,
I'm just saying.
Is he wrong?
They do have some good for him though. Like a third down runner. You know, he's going to take it and 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, 3rd and inches. You know that Archie's going to get the ball and he's going to get 3 or 4 yards every time.
I just hope that Texas is so bad.
I was just going to say, can we shit on Texas really quick?
I hope that I hope they're so bad, and I hope Matt just cries. I hope the Cowboys are so bad that Matt just cries himself to sleep every single night, because why are you a Texas fan if you're from Illinois? Explain, Matt.
Texas is going to be the best team in football next year.
No, Irish, baby. Indy on top. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be, but let's go.
Going to be. He's him.
No, I'm excited.
Yeah, let's shift to Bears Packers draft. I mean, I know that I'm excited for the offseason, but this is kind of one of those off seasons for the Bears where it's like, I don't think we're going to go out and sign a receiver or a running back or, anything that's big like splash. I think that if we can get Trey Smith away from the Chiefs, that'd be a huge get. You need interior offensive line. But whatever you don't, go after in free agency, you gotta attack in the draft or vice versa. I mean, if you draft, if we're at 10 and Genty's on the board, if Ben Johnson wants that 1-2 punch running back wise, take Genty. But I love Will Campbell. I think that dude is a monster. He's not got the arms to play tackle in the NFL. And that kind of fits with where we're at. I don't necessarily think, our tackles are great, but Darnell Wright's okay. And I think that if you move him inside, I think Campbell could be an elite guard in the NFL. He's got great feet, coming from a dude that played O-line, like great feet, great technique, great first strike. He gets his hands on quick, doesn't let a lot of guys get to his breastplate. Elite in the pass game, Mauler in the run game. But Griff, what do you think the Bears, as far as, we have the 10th pick and then we have 2 seconds that are high, 39 and 41,
Yeah, we got
41 being via the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, we got after player cuts and everything, we're gonna have around $70-80 million in free agency, and we're gonna have 3 top 41 picks. I mean, we've seen Poles do some magic in the draft before, but depends. I think it all depends what Ben Johnson wants to do. I mean, he also said he's not gonna run the same offense he did with Jared Goff at quarterback. So I mean, the two running back sets, we might not know if that's gonna be there, if that's what he wants. But I don't know. I think after this year, like Saquon, a lot of the other guys kind of revalued the running back role, and I think Swift showed that he can be the guy, but you can't rely on him every game. And I think Roschon is a good running back, but I don't think he's good enough to be your 1-2 with Swift. So I think if Genty's there, I wouldn't mind taking him. I mean, he's a big time player, and if we can get at least 2 to 3 guys on the line in free agency, then I like it. But we definitely got to go O-line. We got to, with the 3 picks, I think we go at 10. If we go Will, I think one of our second and third round picks are going to be, or our second round picks are going to be the opposite. So we go Will, it's going to be running back. If we go running back, it's going to be offensive tackle or guard or anything. So, I mean,
Agreed.
It all depends what Ben Johnson wants to do. I mean, it's up to him.
And I mean, you've got good running backs in this class. I mean, you got the Hampton kid from North Carolina, and then
Yeah,
I mean, you got Scat.
Stacked. Right?
I
mean, you're probably gonna have Judkins and Henderson going in the third and fourth round, and those dudes were beasts, as you can see this whole season.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the Tennessee running back.
Yeah, you got a lot of dudes. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see. It's kind of hard to mess up when you have a set $70-80 million to work with and 3 top 41 picks. But we're the Bears, so we might find a way to that. So
and I wouldn't hate Caleb Johnson from Iowa at tail end. I mean, his ADP right now is 53, is what everybody's thinking. I mean, if you get him at pick 53, I'm okay with that. But Brado, Larry, 23, and then you guys got 55. Where are you guys wanting the Packers to attack off-season wise, I guess, too? And if those positions aren't met in the off-season, where are you wanting to go for the draft?
Yeah, if we end up not being in on Myles Garrett, which I don't expect us to be. My question is Burden going to be 23? If he is, you almost got to take him.
I'm looking at Mika and Burden.
Yeah. Burden, Walter Nolan, he's a good defensive tackle. I think he played at Ole Miss. He's a solid D tackle. We could always use him to pair with Kenny Clark, or if Kenny Clark does depart from the Packers. He did sign an extension, I think, last year. So to have those two together is pretty cool. And I know we talk shit about Texas, but Jade Barron, their corner, I'd be interested because we're really unsure what the situation with Jair Alexander is.
Yeah.
We're not too sure what's going to happen with him. I've seen him in a lot of trade packages and him just walking. So I'm not too sure what we do there. So hopefully we can get our wide receiver room a little better. Maybe pair it with Jaden Reed and Dobbs, whatever that may be, and then Walter Nolan. I'm all in on Walter Nolan and him and Kenny Clark. So it'll be a fun draft to watch. See what Gutekunst goes, what he thinks is the best pick.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely think that it's going to be interesting to see what the Packers do with Jair. I mean, he missed what felt like the last 6 or 7 games of the year.
Yeah, his last year was somewhat of the same.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like at the end of the year, every year, it just seems like Jair kind of disappears. It's like as soon as he plays Minnesota and shuts down Jettas, it's like he's done for the year. Doesn't want anything else left to do with the year, and it's just like, yeah, I'm okay with that. But I mean, he's still one of the best top 5 corners in the NFL. I mean, when he's playing.
What
So,
do you
I mean,
what do you guys think about your other cornerbacks other than Jair? I mean, you got Stokes and Valentine, but I don't know your roster like that.
Yeah,
And I don't really watch Packers football, so I mean, I can't say much on it.
I think we need Mike Barron maybe to help boost that cornerback room because I'm not really bought in on Eric Stokes. He's kind of like Jair. They really battle.
Yeah, I'm looking at a thing right now. It says Stokes doesn't have a single pass breakup over the past 3 seasons with more than 1,000 snaps,
that's crazy.
and
Crazy.
he isn't under contract for next season either. They said.
It would be nice to upgrade it with Barron or the Thomas. He's a good corner.
I think you guys should keep Jair though. I think he's a stud.
Yeah, that's at the end of the day, that's what we hope to do, so we can find a young guy to pair with Jair. Because, like you said, I'm not bought in on Stokes.
Yeah.
I do like. I know it's not the same position, but Bullard, he's been phenomenal for us. Him and Edgar Cooper. So it shows that these rookies can be impactful right away for the Packers. But yeah,
And I think McKinney has clearly shown that he could be a leader on that secondary now.
Yeah. McKinney's one of the best safeties in the NFL when healthy. I mean, he showed that with the Giants.
If you guys can get Jair back healthy, you guys can get another corner. I think your defense is going to be pretty legit.
Because with how Gutekunst is, we don't draft first round wide receivers. So ever, never, no matter who it is. So someone like Nolan and Barron are more likely to happen than a Luther Burden or Jalen Royals who can.
It's a different question asking what me and Brado want and what we think they're gonna do because
right. Brado, Larry, we got a comment. I'm assuming he means Keyshawn Nixon. What do you guys think about him?
Oh yeah, Keyshawn Nixon. Dustin Hughes, huh? Yeah.
So yeah, I think so. Keyshawn Nixon, he's one hell of a kick returner. I'll tell you that. But outside of that,
I don't think we keep him playing in the secondary.
No, he's not very reliable. He gets burnt like toast probably 2 times a game. It feels like, but our whole secondary wasn't up to standard this year for sure, especially with all the injuries. It's
What do you guys think about? I mean, this is kind of a Packers question. Debo just requested a trade. What do you guys think about him? You guys don't like Debo? You guys do like Debo?
You keep him away from me. I don't like him.
I'm
Brado
all
may have to do it.
But the packages he ran in San Francisco, he can't expect to run somewhere else. So
yeah,
he thinks he's a wide receiver 1X, and the dude is he's like a Doug Martin if you gave Doug Martin 3 extra inches of height. Like, he's just a muscle hamster who can run the ball. I mean, that dude should be. I mean, there was a reason he was used as like a wildcat quarterback at South Carolina.
He's very versatile. I just don't.
It wouldn't fit.
I agree.
I think the Packers have good wide receivers. I don't know why you guys. You guys started the season going at Jaden Reed a lot, and then the last 6 or 7 games, you guys got about 2 or 3 targets a game. which does not make sense because he was a top 10 wide receiver for like the first like 8 weeks. Even when Malik went out, I mean, and I don't think Jaden's a 1, but I think he could be the best 2 in the league for sure.
He's a hell of a slot for us. I mean,
Yeah.
his hands, his routes. I mean,
Hell of a route runner.
he's a fantastic player for us. But we just
He's electric too. He can make the big play.
But with him, with Watson being injured, Dobbs concussions.
Who do you guys have on contract for next year? Do you know? Is Watson coming? He's on his 5th year, isn't he done?
Who's that?
Watson.
I think Watson
And Dobbs, aren't they on there? Or they already get extensions?
I don't think they got their extensions yet.
Yeah.
I
don't think Watson has.
Yeah, because they came in the same draft, didn't they?
Yeah.
Dobbs, Watson. Yeah.
Yep. They were both, I don't know, 3rd, 4th.
And I think
Watson away
Dobbs,
too. Me and Griffin has had this conversation way too many times. He knows how I feel.
I think
Christian Watson is on the books for $1.9 million for 2025.
I think Dobbs is
1 year.
Yeah, it's his last year of his rookie contract, I'm guessing. But
4 year.
I think Dobbs is a stud, but I think he's just. I mean, every time I watch a game, he's good, and then like you'll tune into the next game because I don't keep up with Packers, and then he's just not on the field. I don't know if he's injured a lot. What's going on there?
A lot of concussions.
His
Also
brain's
on Tucker
mush.
Kraft.
Because like when he's playing, I mean, when I watch, he's a stud, but he's not always on the field, so I don't know.
Now, if you watched any of our recent games, which would have been the Bears-Packers game, he wears that protective guardian cap. He still was getting dinged up, had a concussion while wearing it, so we're not too sure how healthy.
Yeah,
really
let me tell you guys a little bit about those guardian caps. Those things don't help at all. I've had to wear one of those for the last 3 years, and I swear to God, there's no difference between getting smacked in the cranium with one of those things on and smacked without it on.
Do they make you use those in practice, Bryce?
Yes, bro. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter if a linebacker's blitzing from 5 yards deep and they hit me in my skull. It don't matter if I've got like 4,000 layers of bubble wrap. It's still gonna shake my whole like central nervous system in my brain.
If you more protection.
Yeah, more protection, my ass. Whatever. Griff, I wanted to get your opinion on this. PFF put out their mock draft for the Bears for their 7-round mock. And this is also for the other 3 of you guys because or the other 2 of you guys. Franklin from Illinois, wide receiver in the 6th round for the Bears. What you guys think? I mean, I know I'm not a big Illinois football fan, but that dude, playing against that dude, his catch against us was pretty nasty. Maybe next week I'll pull up that clip, but yeah,
I think it's pretty damn cool.
Rough.
I don't know. I think Franklin's good. Don't get me wrong, but I think we need to bring in just speed. I'd rather see just speed guys, rather than just jump ball guys. I mean,
if
we need a jump ball, we'll throw it to Rome. If we keep Keenan, we need a jump ball, we'll throw it to him. We need to throw it. But I think we need speed, and I think Ben Johnson is gonna go out and get a bunch of guys with speed because I mean I think that's how he builds his offense, and I think it's proven with Chiefs and every other team in the league that speed matters, and it's a difference maker. So I would rather go out and if we're gonna spend a 6-round pick, spend it on a guy who can run like a 4.3. Maybe he can't catch the ball as good as some of the other guys, but I'd rather go out and get a guy like that who can maybe make a big play. But
Agreed.
That's just me.
Agreed. I agree there.
As far as Gag, I mean, we used to Illinois. He catches everything, but he's not a vertical threat. He's not fast. He's good with his routes and his hands. I mean, he was fantastic this year. But outside of that, for the Bears wise, which doesn't really matter to me, but I just feel like that's not someone they need, especially while drafting someone like a Dunze and other guys.
I'm an Illinois fan, but not only the Bears. I just don't think he's going to contribute to any NFL team. I mean, he may be able to get drafted. But
I think Pat Bryant's going to be a stud, though. He's going to be
good. There.
That guy's going to be good.
I agree. Packers fans, I think that Well, first of all, it sucks as a Notre Dame fan. I would have loved to see Benjamin Morrison play in the CFP. That'd have been great. I would have loved to see Jeremiah Smith versus him.
I
Because
just
going
got a
into this
tweet that Aaron
year,
Rodgers says he's leaving the Jets.
Just got tweeted.
Won't be back
wow,
with the Jets in 2025.
Saints.
Well, then I'm guessing. I mean, then what pick do the Jets have? They have the 7 pick. I mean, they're definitely going.
They got to
They
go.
gotta
Well,
to
they have
the
Jordan Travis.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
maybe
mean,
maybe he got a little bit of that Jordan Love, where he can come in and be the successor of Aaron Rodgers, but I don't think so.
He was on ayahuasca. You think?
bro's sitting in Brazil or wherever, Costa Rica, and is just like tripping. But yeah,
Rooms and shit.
I'd love to see B more. I mean, that dude was a dog at Notre Dame his sophomore year. If you guys can get him with like a second, that like 55 pick, I think that's a third actually. No, it's a second. If you could get him at that slot, that's crazy value. I mean, that dude's a that dude's a cornerback one on a lot of teams, and I think if you could get him with Jair, I mean, that's Morrison's he's long pause, but he's got good ball talent too. God, pause. All right, let's get off this topic. Jeez, Benjamin Morrison's a dog.
Great
but
ball talent.
yeah, he's a great player, but I would not pick him. They've got him projected at you guys at 23. I think he falls out of the first. I mean, I don't see it.
Barron. I mean, that's him, Barron, and Nolan. I think is what it's going to come down to. Those three.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes for him.
But yeah, expectations as far as what do you guys think the Packers are going to go for the 2026 2020 or 25 26 season? What's your prediction as of right now? We'll come back to this before the start of the NFL.
Go ahead, Brado.
Let's see, man. We drew a tough schedule. I wouldn't say it's tough for the Bears. Bears, they have a gauntlet of a schedule.
Yeah.
I would say anybody in the NFC North is going to be a little rocky.
I think Detroit has. I think they go down a little bit. I think it's Green Bay. Respectfully, I think it's Green Bay or Minnesota who wins this year. The North, anyway.
Agreed.
I think the Bears are very capable of doing it, and I think the Lions are too. But with how much the Lions have lost and all the new guys coming in with Chicago, I just think it's between Minnesota and Green Bay.
I agree. I think the Bears go at best.
I think the
9-8.
As I say, you can't. No, I mean whatever playoff is. I don't think. I know it's first year head coach, but I mean it's not like he doesn't have people around. He doesn't have a team. He's gonna have a stud of a team. So I mean, yeah, I think if we don't make playoffs, then it's a loss. I mean, you have a roster that hung with every. I mean, we didn't get blown out like any game. I mean, we hung with every team. So it's not like we have a bad team and you have $80 million to work with, 2 or 3 top 41 picks. You got your quarterback. I think you have to think playoffs. And if you don't, then it's – so I'm thinking 10 wins.
Yeah. That's fair.
I think Packers, I think they're going to have a good season.
I think 12-5.
If they can go out and get a wide receiver, I think they could win the division easily and get around 12 wins.
I think Minnesota goes down, in my opinion. I know Duke is going to hate that, but I don't think they're going to be as good. I'm just not sold on JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, and I was going to talk about this too. Is I don't think people give Sam Darnold credit enough for what he actually did. I mean, everyone was like, "Oh, he ruined his money. He lost a lot of money in that playoff game." But people didn't watch what that who'd they play in that game?
Rams.
The Rams. I mean, you've seen what the Texans defense did to Justin Herbert, but I mean, he's a top 10. I mean, he's a top 10 quarterback. I mean, you have bad games, and to lead your team to 14-2, and you coming in and his first year there, he's learning the whole new offense. I mean, I don't know. And I just seen something about Sam Darnold maybe going to the Raiders. I think he's legit. I think he's a good quarterback. and I don't think people gave him enough credit for what he did.
No, I agree. I think Joe Burrow had a fantastic year, but I feel like Sam Darnold should have won Comeback Player of the Year.
Yeah.
There's an R in his
Dukas,
name, Dukas.
Dukas, I don't know who Donald is, but yeah, Donald Duck wasn't bad. Great player. Got a lot of tenacity, a lot of knack for the ball.
We love Donald.
Good. I think he's good.
And
I think the Lions are. I don't know. I think he was carried. I don't know. I want to say carried, but I mean he led the team. But I mean, I think his coordinators were a big part of that, and I don't think they're going to be as good. I mean, I think they'll still be. I think they'll be right around where we are: 9-8, 10-7.
I think
Has Detroit promoted an OC or DC yet?
What?
Has Detroit promoted an OC or DC yet?
I think so. I mean,
I think all the credit of the Vikings' success this year needs to go to their defense. No one thought they were going to play as good as what they did.
hey, Brian
Brian
Flores,
Flores didn't get a head coaching job, did he?
no, nobody wants him.
NFL,
What
man.
he did.
NFL is racist, man.
Look
Brian
what he
Flores
did.
said it.
Look what he did to fucking Tua, dude.
I honestly thought
Tua turned the ball over.
Yeah, Tua turned the ball over, but
I thought he'd be where the Ben Johnson noise happened.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of that segment about Bears Packers. I think we're all excited for the future for those two franchises. But major topic of the day. I know that so many people are so excited to watch this rematch. I know that I'm flabbergasted by it and
Ecstatic,
cannot
man.
wait. I'm so happy. I cannot wait.
Patrick Mahomes in another Super Bowl.
Fly Eagles fly.
I personally, I'm not going to bet against Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Just not going to do it. So I'm taking the Chiefs today. I think they win. Griff, what do you think?
I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't want the Chiefs to win, but
You want picks in general, Bryce, or are we talking sports betting here?
Picks in general. We'll get
picks
to.
in general. I
we'll
think.
get to those.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I'm not gonna bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Fredo, what do you got?
Yeah, I might be the lone wolf on this one, fellas, but I'm gonna take Philly, man. The numbers that Saquon's put up this year have been phenomenal. The O-line he has, Jalen Hurts playing better than he was, AJ Brown stepping in, Devontae Smith stepping in, Goddard. Their defense is great. I know that Kansas City is not a team you bet against in the Super Bowl, but I'm all in on this Philly team.
Larry, what you got?
I want to go Chiefs. I know Griffin said this before, but with as good as Saquon's been playing and the Chiefs' run defense, I really want to be able to say that the Eagles can pull it out, but I ain't betting against Patrick Mahomes either.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Larry, what he just said, we were talking about it the other day. I think Saquon's gonna go off. I think it's gonna be Saquon, and I think it's gonna be Devontae Smith, are the two dudes. I think McDuffie's gonna be on AJ. I know AJ can make a big play, but McDuffie's a stud, so I think it's gonna be those two dudes. And I think if Hurts can take care of the ball and not turn it over and just do what he's done this whole postseason, I think they. Because I mean this. To be fair, this Chiefs offense really hasn't been that spectacular this year. I mean,
No.
they've lost one game all year, 1 or 2 games all year, and this is statistically Pat Mahomes' worst year of his career. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think if it's gonna be a year, it's this year. I think the Eagles can do it, but I'm not gonna bet against Pat Mahomes in the playoffs.
Yeah. Super Bowl MVP. Who you guys got? What do you guys? I mean, you gonna go with Mahomes? I mean,
I'm going with Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, Saquon's the only person
Saquon Barkley.
Literally, yeah.
Won the offensive player of the year. I'm gonna stick with Saquon.
I'm gonna go. I think Chiefs win. I think Kelsey catches.
It depends on who you want to win. I mean, I think
Kelsey catches a touchdown and probably goes for. I don't know. My bold prediction is Kelsey goes for a touchdown, like probably 7 or 8 catches, probably over 100. And I think that if the Chiefs win, I think I could honestly see Travis Kelce just being done, calling it quits. I mean, he's getting old, getting up there in age. I could see him just calling it a career, going out on top 3 in a row. I mean, you can't really beat that.
Yeah, why
He's
not?
got a lot of the records. He's got a phenomenal girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Saying that with a lot of enthusiasm, guys. Sorry if we've got any if there's any 217 Swifties. Sorry about that, but
You'll get over it.
Please get her out of the NFL. That'd be nice. Thank you.
Yep.
Who you guys got for Super Bowl MVP? I know Griff said Saquon. Brado, who you
I think
I'm going to keep it with, like I said, the Offensive Player of the Year. I think Quadzilla Saquon Barkley is gonna have himself a great game and take Philly to win the Super Bowl.
I'd give it to Pat just because I think they're going to win, unfortunately. I don't like thinking that.
Griff, you going to Saquon, I'm assuming?
I'm going to Saquon. And the Chiefs win, I'm going to go I'm going on a limb here. I'm going to say Kareem Hunt. I feel like in the Super Bowl.
I had Xavier Worthy in the back of my mind with
I feel like in the Super
type
Bowl
of things they.
I mean, I feel like in the Super Bowl the past few years, they've actually leaned on the run game a lot like that. And so I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt.
I like that. Any bold predictions for, like, I know obviously I gave mine out, but any bold predictions for the game?
My Kareem Hunt Super Bowl MVP pick.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty bold. I mean,
You got a lot of people on the team. I'm going Kareem Hunt.
This is more like a betting question, or like just
I mean, Brado, your lock of the day is coming up, so
we'll
you
say
can
that.
do with that with what you want. But Larry, you got any bold predictions for the game?
I got a Noah Gray touchdown. That's what I'm thinking.
I know a great touchdown. Brado said that's the lock.
that's the lock.
That's Brado's lock of the day is Noah Gray anytime.
No, I got a different one for that one. That's just a bold prediction.
All right. Now we'll turn it over to the degeneracy of what everybody likes to do. Brado is 150-0 in sports gambling. Hasn't lost yet. He actually just hit for about 32 grand the other day, and is actually going to buy the Oakwood Casey's. So, Brado, what's your lock, and what should the people tail?
Yeah. Tail responsibly, fellas. I'm going to take Eagles plus 2.5 alternate spread and Jalen Hurts anytime.
You heard it here. Lock of the day: Eagles plus 2.5. Jalen Hurts.
You putting that new property on that? Casey's Casey's block?
I think a lock of the day for me is going to be Devontae Smith over his receiving yards at 52. I think he's going to, like I said, I think McDuffie's going to be on A.J. Brown, and I think Smith's going to be open. And he's shown it this whole playoffs. So that's my pick.
On the sports betting here, I want to talk about DeAndre Hopkins. Arguably one of the best receivers in the league the past 3 years. He's a dog. Played great with with Deshaun Watson in Houston, but his line, what I was looking at, was 11.5 receiving yards. With your quarterback being Patrick Mahomes, I don't know. I don't see how that's.
Is that your lock? You're taking D-Hop 11.5?
I want to alt that up and triple my money. I want to take I want to take 30 yards because I don't see him. I see him doing very well today. Yeah.
I think the Chiefs kind of remind me a little bit of the Packers, though, where like you don't know who the guy's going to be today with the receivers wise.
Agreed. So we've got. I think this will pop up here. Yeah. So this is got Brado's lock of the day. Griff's Devonta Smith over yards, and then Larry's big bold prediction: D-Hop altered to 30. I think that I don't know. This is like one of the games where it's like, if there was better college basketball on, I don't know if I'd even really watch it. Probably play Xbox most of the time. I mean, I'm just not really excited for it. I wish there was something else. I wish it was Bills, Lions, or Ravens, Lions, or anybody else besides the Chiefs and the Eagles, to be honest. But yeah. And then I guess the last thing we're going to talk about for the day. I mean, if you guys got anything else about NFL to add, go ahead. But if not, we're going to move ahead to the what some people probably aren't as interested in. But I know we're all big UFC guys, so if you guys got anything else left to say about the NFL, speak now, forever hold your peace till next week.
Go Pack, go, baby.
All right. Well, I hope Pack sucks, but I'll keep it at that.
We'll move on.
Yeah, moving on to UFC 312. Had some good fights. I was not super impressed with this card. A lot of contender guys coming up to make their first fights. It was in Australia, so
A lot of awesome guys.
yeah, you see a lot of when those fights are in like the Saudi Arabia and Aussie and outside of the United States, you see a lot of those fights where it's fighters from different countries. I know that a lot of the Asian fighters like to fight over there because it's around their own time zone. They don't like coming to the U.S. because it's like completely flipping. The one fight that I really thought was pretty interesting was I liked Ilya's brother's fight. He looked sharp as a tack. I thought his strikes looked heavy. I thought that he looked pretty good. But I mean, at the same time, he didn't look like Ilya. I mean, he didn't look like he had the overwhelming power that Ilya kind of takes people out with. But that was the one fight that I thought was pretty nasty. And then Gabriel Santos looked like a Charles Oliveira clone in that fight. I mean, that dude looked like every little bit of Charles. I mean, it was nasty. He got on his back and did the same thing that Charles did to Michael Chandler at 300 and just didn't let go. And I thought those were two good prelim fights. Those are the last two I watched on the prelim. I know that Teixeira dude, the dude that's like 6'7", and he's in the heavyweight division, that dude looked really good.
Ended that.
I mean, 35 seconds is crazy.
Yeah.
There was also a 19-second knockout. That was pretty nuts too. But we'll get into the co-main and main event. I don't know if you guys watched the Weili Zhang and Tatiana Suarez fight, but I mean, it was a 5-round typical women's UFC fight. Kind of no power behind the punches. Kind of just went the distance, went to the scorecards, and I mean, Weili Zhang 26-3. I don't think anybody is going to beat her. But Tatiana Suarez also did take like 4.5 years off of fighting. And I just don't understand how you do that and then come back and think you're going to win all of a sudden. But do you guys got any thoughts on that fight?
I did not. I remember how we had it on at Griffin's. We were watching a little bit of it, but I'm looking at the significant strikes, and the Tatiana girl went 12 for 36, 33%, while the other woman was at 53 for 87, 60%.
Yeah, I mean, Tatiana's a known grappler, and she shot 15 takedowns and got one, and the one was questionable. But Weili Zhang, she threw almost 300 total strikes and connected on 232 of them. It's insane.
Yeah,
I mean, that's textbook.
hard to beat someone that.
But I think the only fight that everybody was really interested in was the DDP and Sean Strickland fight. I thought Sean looked awful. I mean, didn't really ever look comfortable in there. Kind of never got to his spot. Didn't really look like he was. I mean, Driscus is one of those. He's like the Merab of the middleweight. Like, he just kind of moves and just does some wonky shit and never stands still and kind of just always is moving around, and it's hard to hit him, and he just looks so odd out there. But I mean, Sean just didn't look good at all. I was kind of sad to see after the first fight. I thought Sean could stand up with him and, really get to his spot and walk him down in that ring. But DDP kind of just did what he wanted and didn't even have to take him down to win the fight.
Yeah, I think Dricus is better than what people give him credit for. I think a lot of people a lot of UFC fans and people get hyped up because some people are showmen. Like Dricus just isn't a showman, and he doesn't get the hype. He gets like Sean. I mean, Sean's good. Like all those dudes that are showmen, like they're good, but they also get a lot of hype because that's what they're supposed to do. Dricus isn't like that, and I think he's better than what people give him credit for. He's an awkward fighter. He's slow. He's just slow. Like his attacks are slow. Everything he does is slow, but it's so awkward that you just can't catch it. I mean,
No, Dricus looked fantastic, man. He whooped Sean's ass for 5 rounds. I'm pretty sure he's won his last 9 fights now. Like Griffin said, Sean was never comfortable. Dricus kept switching up his stance on him, going from southpaw, and just whooping his ass. I think he broke his nose round 3, and after
that was bad.
It just went down for Sean. It was a pretty ugly fight. But Dricus absolutely looked like a fighter all 5 rounds.
Larry, anything to add to that?
Everything I got.
I think
Yeah.
the UFC right now though is there's so many guys, all the champions right now, which we haven't seen in a while, is like a lot of them are dominant, like in the weight classes, and we're having to see guys go up. Like they were talking about Hamzat going up and fighting Dricus, just because the competition level is so much different. Because I mean, you got Sean what was Sean ranked? He was 2. Was he 2?
He's 1.
He was 1. And I mean, Dricus just completely walked him down the whole fight. I mean, so the fact that in the UFC right now we're having to have guys like even with Islam, Ilya. I think Islam's best fight right now is Ilya going up a weight class and fighting him. And my bold take is I think Ilya would beat Islam if Ilya went up, but.
Yeah, I know Dana has come out and said that he doesn't like moving fighters around in weight classes because then it causes commotion. I mean,
Yeah.
It really shakes a lot of things. I mean, I love my favorite fighter of all time is Conor, but I mean, when he went up, it was the best thing for him because he couldn't make featherweight anymore. And I think that is the only reason you should really move divisions, unless you like Alexander Pantoja should move divisions. He should go up. He's ran that whole division for the longest time. I mean, he's got to do something. He's beat everybody in that division. Nobody's even given him a fight in like the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're going to keep moving up divisions and you're going to try to go for double belts and everything else like that, I think that we should just make fights for that. And then I think you should go back down to your weight class. Like I liked when Volk went and fought Islam for lightweight. And then went back down to his weight class. He gets murdered again by Islam the second time and then gets beat by Ilya. But I don't know.
Or just give the fight that everybody wants to see. Like if people want to see Ilya and Islam, do it as like the BMF belt, like they did with Max and them, where it's not for it's not a championship fight. But I mean, if you want to take the two, let them fight at whatever. I mean, 155. And they can both go back. Say Islam wins or loses. Say he loses, he still remains the 155 champion. Ilya still remains the 140.
Yeah. Who Dricus called out at the end of the fight?
Alex Pereira.
Yeah.
Jamba.
I texted Griffin about that this morning. That's crazy. I mean,
he was there with Israel, was he not?
Yeah, which is weird. I don't get that. Why are they friends now? That doesn't make any sort of sense. I do have one complaint about 312.
Israel just booked his next fight already, I think.
Who's he fighting? He's got to fight a lower guy.
I seen it today. Let me see if I can find it again.
All right, while you're looking, the one complaint I did have about 312, being one of the more boring cards, like name-wise, Ben Cartledge, I don't know, one of the judges scored one of the rounds 9-10 Strickland. I don't know if I was watching something else, but I didn't think there was a single round where DDP looked like he lost.
Not. Not.
I mean, I thought I had it 5-0 heading in, or I had it 4-0 heading into 5, and he beat him in 5. I didn't think round 2 was even close. I thought it was DDP all the way. And there's been some really weird judging over the last year. I know the Volkov and Gain fight was highly disputed. I thought Volkov won that fight, and all of a sudden Gain won, and everybody kind of was a little weary about that. But yeah, Griff, did you find who
No, I read it.
out?
I read it wrong. They were talking about his 2019 fight being against I don't remember who it was, but his 2019 fight being inducted into the one of the
Hall of Fame.
yeah.
Yeah, let's fast forward to the weekend I'm most excited for, March 8th. I know everybody else is. And that is Pereira versus Ankalaev. That is going to be one hell of a UFC fight. I'm super excited for that. Hopefully I will be in the right mindset to be able to enjoy that. If not, I am sure I'll be able to watch the rerun. But as of right now, Pereira and Ankalaev is a pick'em. It is -110 to -110. This is going to be Pereira's first, like what they're saying, his first actual test at light heavyweight. But we're getting absolutely blessed on this card. I mean, if you look, I mean, when you've got some of these guys that are in the very, prelims / undercard, I mean, you've got Bobby Green or King Green fighting, and then you've got Gaethje and Dan Hooker, which that is going to be
That's a brawl.
That's going to be an insane fight. Like if people thought Holloway Gaethje was going to be insane, this is going to be even worse because like these two dudes are going to stand up and just absolutely try to beat the shit out of each other.
Tattoo Dan Hooker's different, bud.
Dan Hooker's going to get popped.
I got my money. Dan Hooker.
Nah, I do too.
I'm not betting against Pereira. That dude has shown me that he can get to his spot and throw that right and just knock you out.
I don't know much about the dude he's fighting, honestly. I haven't looked into.
He's
watched like
20
and
1. I
was gonna say I've only watched like his last 2 fights, but yeah, I don't know much about him.
And his only loss came in 2018. He's won every fight since then.
Was he even in the UFC then, or no?
He was. Yeah. He fought Paul Craig. I mean, he beat Johnny Walker. Him and Jan Blachowicz or whatever drew, like it was a draw. And then the only other notable name he's fought was Anthony Smith, who, if you guys seen what happened to that dude, that guy needs to retire. He's the guy that was like crying afterwards and was like he didn't know what. I mean, that dude was just completely out of it. But I'll be excited for that one. I know that that's a big day for all of us, so it'd be cool to see that fight. I know. I think Pereira fought last unofficial too. I don't really.
No, it was O'Malley.
Oh, it was Sean.
Oh, it was Sean. You're right. Yeah, I don't really remember it. Don't really remember it. Sorry.
Pereira, I'm looking at this. Pereira's got a 4-inch reach on this guy too.
Yeah, he's also 5 years older though. So
he also hits like a Mack truck. So I mean, good luck. No one's surviving a fucking hook from him. I mean, if he catch anyone, you're going down. So.
And then past that, looking a little bit farther ahead, 314, Pantoja. Nobody cares. I mean, that dude has mollywopped everybody in that division. I mean, I think you got to start or stop with these like mega UFC cards. Like, I like the Umar and Merab fight, but I wish they would spread some of these out because these guys are only fighting like once every 3 or 4 months. I just, with the longevity of some of these guys where, I mean, we don't see like, I know that Connor's obviously a crazy crackhead, but that dude was fighting like once or twice every like 6 months. Like he, in his heyday, he was fighting like 4 times a year.
Yeah.
And you just don't see that anymore, and it's kind of sad because then you get these weird, like, I mean, UFC fight nights are okay, but you get these like weird cards like 312 where there's just no excitement, no hype. Everybody's going to tune in for one fight, and it's not even going to be buying the pay-per-view. It's going to be on, you
Yeah.
know, Stream East or Crack Streams or whatever, watching it. I mean, I think that something's got to change. Dana's going to figure it out, but it's just got to be something different.
I completely agree. I think it's definitely changed from what I had been used to, not as a kid, but in the past.
Yeah. Anything else on UFC?
No.
Hopefully, I want to see. I hope Sugar gets to fight soon. I know he said he was targeting March. I don't know. It'll probably be Peter Yan. I don't know. Might be Corey Sandhagen, one of those two. He doesn't deserve a title shot right now. Always hopeful for Conor to come back. He's never coming back. I'm just gonna rest my hopes and dreams there. He's not gonna fight the Paul brothers. I guarantee that'll get canceled. Yeah. If there's any questions from the people that are viewing, go ahead and speak now. As of questions, Anthony submitted one: worst NBA player versus best WNBA player. Who wins? I mean, who would you guys consider to be the worst NBA player?
Oh yeah, Bryce, you weren't here for this conversation.
Yeah, we've done this.
Luke thinks the okay.
Hold on, let's get a little more in depth, because I think the argument that we were having was a little unfair.
This is the argument that
Was this the
started-
argument?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually,
Originally, that's what it started out with.
Everyone said Bronny, and Larry was confident that Caitlin Clark would beat him in a 1v1.
I was confident I could find a WNBA player that would beat Bronny 1-on-1. Yes, I will admit that.
I mean, Caitlin Clark's how tall?
6 foot.
Not as tall as Bronny.
5'11".
6 foot.
It's not even about the height. You got
It's not even about that. That's what I was about to say. He's averaging 24 points in the G League against grown men.
Yeah.
He's
Bronny's gonna cook her ass. I mean, I think if you trot out like maybe like Candace Parker, I think she's technically the GOAT of WNBA. I mean,
She wouldn't even
might
have
be
a
able to.
chance.
I hope Ant's in this bitch.
She might.
I hope
be able
Ant's
to
in this
beat,
bitch.
like some crappy NBA player. Like, I don't know, dude.
I'd
seen
give
some really bad NBA
I'd give
players.
Candace Parker 2 points against Bronny, maybe. And that's if Bronny lets her.
Bro,
Yep.
didn't they? Wasn't. I mean, you also have to remember. Wasn't it like I don't know how long ago? Wasn't Liz Cambridge 1v1 DeMarcus Cousins?
No, what was wasn't that Brittany
There's
Griner?
Brittany Griner.
Oh, and what was the score of that game? That'll tell us all we need to know.
It was like
Did it actually
Brittany-
happen?
21.
Brittany Griner's a dude, so that doesn't count.
This puts it in perspective. The UConn coach even came out and said when all that Brittany Griner and DeMarcus Cousins stuff was going out, he was like, "There's no women's basketball player that could beat."
He said he put his mortgage.
Yeah,
on
he put his whole mortgage on an NBA player,
Yeah.
just not fair.
and he coaches women's basketball. So
Dukas
That's another
had this question.
crazy.
where do you think Sanders goes? He's talking about Shadur.
That's
He's talking about Colonel Sanders, actually.
Or
He's talking about going to KFC.
I think
Um,
Shadur's going 1 or 2. Whoever takes the chance on him.
Raiders.
I think
Vegas is
Shadur is going to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. I'd like that.
Yeah. I think that'd be cool for Chip Kelly and him. I think that fits that Mariota-ish offense that he ran that was successful in Oregon. Let's see.
Give me Will Howard at 6. Pair him up with Chip
You're
Kelly.
crazy. What in the world? Will Howard? I'd
Will
rather see
Howard,
him
dude.
sign Marcus Mariota again. Okay. Here, Haven is a Titans fan, which is somehow worse than being a Bears fan.
Who you take at the 1?
Thinking
Campbell.
Ward.
Good.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, quarterback.
But I will say this: the new Titans GM has come out and said that they are going to take best player available. So I don't know who they view as that.
Don't pick
I've
Travis, please.
heard a lot of traction behind Carter going 1.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think they have to take a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way you don't take QB if you can't rely unless Will Levis is getting back with Gia Duddy. They're going to be awful.
Is
I'd take Cam Ward. Honestly, I think Jackson Dart's gonna be the best QB in this class, but
L'Jarius Sneed still playing for the
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like cornerback is not much.
they don't
more.
have a bad defense.
Yeah,
Yeah, they still got Jeff Simmons,
or Simmons, fantastic.
and I mean,
Danico
a lot of
Autry,
is he still there?
pretty sure he's still there. He's a really good.
I just don't remember because of how bad they were. I mean, they were good. What 3-4 years ago with Tannehill and Vrabel, but you fire Vrabel after one bad season.
You get rid of Derrick Henry. What a move.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not
AJ.
going to sit here and act like I thought Derrick Henry was going to be Derrick Henry again. I mean, I was
Fair.
completely out on Derrick Henry. I thought he was going to be okay with the Ravens. I didn't think he was going to be as good as he was this year. I didn't think he was going to have all those touchdowns. But
Yeah, he had a
I mean,
great year.
It's gotta suck as a Titans fan, giving up AJ Brown, giving up Derrick Henry, give all these guys that are succeeding now in the NFL, AJ Brown going to the Super Bowl once again. It's
yeah. In what world did the Titans GM think, yeah, let's trade AJ Brown because we're going to draft Treylon Burks?
Yeah.
Treylon Burks is terrible.
AJ Brown has more Super Bowl appearances than Treylon Burks has. Let that sink in. So it's a GM thing.
Yeah, I mean, it takes you have to have good GM. Ryan Poles don't produce this offseason/season. He's probably out of Chicago. I don't know.
I think he's gonna get. I think Poles will get an extension with however long Ben Johnson's here. I think
My life.
Poles will be. Haven said, "My life."
That's
is
funny.
cool.
Yeah.
I guess my big shout out for the day is shout out Virginia McCaskey. Rest in peace. She got to see the Bears beat the Packers before she died. If only her son would go away too, not die, but like leave the Bears.
Would go away.
Go away.
That'd be great.
Not die, but
I love every time that George, puts out a tweet. He has to put -George. George, if you ever happen to see this podcast, we know it's you, buddy. You don't have to put -George. You're not anonymous. And then we got one more comment.
hell
Do
no.
the Cowgirls produce? Not a big Cowboys stan. Not a big. I don't buy the hype every year. I hear it's a lot of. Cowboys,
I think it's time for Jerry Jones to die.
Is Dak healthy?
I think if Dak's healthy,
I think so.
I think they can be good. I think Dak's a good quarterback, but other than that,
They've got pick 12.
yeah, they got 12.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where they're going with.
I don't even know who Brian Schottenheimer is, if he's any good.
Well, Brian Oppenheimer, bud. You gonna bomb it up in Detroit, bud?
I don't know if he's any
Or
good.
Detroit, Dallas, Jesus.
We know you meant.
I know.
Neither
Clarify.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you would make that higher, but as of right now, it says running back is their biggest need. I mean, yeah. I don't think Genty will be there at 12. If he is, then I would take him. And I mean, besides that, they're in a big predicament with Parsons because they just paid Dak and CD, and I know for a fact that that everybody's seeing what's happening with San Fran right now, where you pay 3 dudes and you can't pay the rest of your roster. And if you do that, then it gets kind of sketchy towards the end. I mean, I just don't. If they move Parsons or if they keep Parsons, I think you gotta look to either somehow reduce Dak's contract because that dude being worth $60 million a year is crazy. I mean, CD is worth everything advertised, but Dak being a $60 million quarterback, when healthy, in my opinion, top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
I mean,
But
he had
I think
better
they got
stats.
a really, really good player in Turpin too. I'd never get rid of him.
he's just a kick returner, in my opinion.
Dak had better stats than Lamar last year, and Lamar won the MVP. So,
Lamar also won, like, I don't know.
but then
how
they
many
don't
games?
they don't give Lamar the MVP this year, which I think Josh Allen should have won. Don't get me wrong, but
That'd be crazy.
I don't know how Lamar won it last year.
Yeah. The NFL was just kind of down last year. It was a little more balanced this year. There was a lot more big production seasons from these guys. I mean, I know obviously that Mahomes being not as good obviously opens things up, but I definitely think Lamar probably should have won it. I think Joe Burrow should have been in consideration for it. I mean, that dude did have the most passing touchdowns in the NFL, most yards. But the real crime is Jamar Chase not getting a single vote for Offensive Player of the Year when he literally won the Triple Crown.
Yeah, it was a big debate that year. Cooper Kupp did it, and everyone thought he arguable MVP. Jamar Chase does the same thing and doesn't even get.
I mean, not a singular vote.
Yeah,
But yeah, next week, not sure what I mean, we'll be recapping Illinois with their games coming up. Probably won't recap the Super Bowl unless some crazy stuff happens. I mean, I'm not real interested in this game anyways, unless some big news breaks. I don't know. Probably, I would say looking ahead in the distant future. Probably won't have a podcast on March 9th. It'll be a day of worship Jesus. Will not be probably looking at a computer screen that day. But we'll definitely be back on here next week. I'm not sure who's going to be on, but you'll see by the thumbnail. I'm going to start working on that, figuring out topics for next week. But I really appreciate you guys coming on here. You guys will be on future episodes. I mean, you guys know better than anybody else. You're, first couple people I told about the pod. Obviously, first guest on here. But yeah, it's a good time. I like coming on here and just talking ball with everybody, getting different outsider opinions. I know baseball season is going to be fun. I'm expecting big things from your guys' teams, not from mine, which is kind of sad to say. But yeah, if you guys, anything else you guys want to add before we kind of call this the day?
I appreciate it. I had a good time.
It was fun.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, thanks for having me, brother. Yeah, go Pack, go.
Yeah.
every time.
All right. Well, this has been episode 2 of the 217 podcast, and we will see you guys next week.
Peace.